Hello and welcome to week 10 in this truncated version of Introduction to Psychology here. We're going to be looking at chapters 11 and 12. Chapter 11 on personality and chapter 12 on social psychology. There's a whole class on each one of these. I teach a class in personality and social psych going on this semester actually. So in personality, we get introduced, and I'm having you discuss the world of Freud. Now, Freud is, by and large, the most famous of all the personality psychologists, if not all psychologists of all time. Also very controversial, and many of his ideas and theories have gone the way of the dinosaur. But his genius really was that he contributed very, very important concepts to the field of psychology. And what I would like you to do is to both explore the world of Freud's theory, find the gems that are still there, and relate that in your discussion. The next one looks, the whole chapter looks at three notions of personality theory: psychodynamic, Freud; type theory, that'd be Carl Jung, and probably the most famous of them is the Myers-Briggs type inventory. And then we look at trait psychology or trait personality theory, and the notion that of all the trait theories and all the trait theory personality tests that are out there, there are 5 big ones that show up in almost all of them. And so I'm going to be having you take the big 5 personality test. It gives you a score in each one of those areas. Here's the thing. As with all of these tests that I'm presenting to you in this class, these are not official clinical instruments. They're for exploration, understanding of the concepts, and certainly for fun as well. So take the results for whatever they will give you. If they say you're highly neurotic, then embrace it and find out what areas are you highly neurotic in. There's really not anything necessarily bad, even though some of those traits, let's say agreeableness, if you're not very agreeable, maybe it's in particular situations that you're thinking about, the way the test was. Take the test scores for what they mean to you and what you can learn from them. That's it. They're not pigeonholing you. They're not defining you. Just like the emotional intelligence test, just like the IQ test. These are not really clinical tests for that kind of discussion. Then we move into social psychology, and it's kind of an interesting that these two chapters follow each other, because we're talking about, personality being a measure of a person's individual behavior. Then we're going to look at that behavior as it sits in context. Social psychology takes into consideration culture, the situation that you find yourself in, whether you're with your grandparents or whether you're with your best friends at a bar. Well, I guess many of you wouldn't be at a bar right now, but you're your best friends at a team or something like that. And then at a game, how you would behave differently because of the norms and expectations of the group you're in and how that impacts us. I'm having you look first at the impact of advertising, a very, very powerful statement by Edward Bernays that I would like you to read and respond to and think about and discuss. Then we go into a quiz where I'm asking you to look at your status and roles, job title, job description, status, roles, and we're looking at how those interact with each other. And then the second question in that quiz explores the idea of social control, and that's every group that you belong to has norms and expectations for your behavior in that group. What happens when you step outside, when you step over the line and you move away from that? You might think about your family. What happens when you step out? Is there a mechanism, be it a talking to, or let's have a family meeting, or maybe there's a punishment, maybe there's a reward system if you don't do those kinds of things? What is the mechanism that helps keep you in line? These are very, very powerful parts of our society. They range everything from don't put your elbows on the table to what will send you to the death penalty. All of those constructs are all aspects of what sociologists refer to as social control. Now, related to social control is we, throughout our lives, have individuals in our lives who sit on what I call the looking glass committee. These are important people in our lives, and their opinions of us matter. We all have them. Nobody goes through life at any point without having individuals that they care about in that role. In fact, it's not good to simply say, I don't care what other people think. Of course you care what other people think. You care about what specific people think. It's troublesome maybe if you care about what everybody thinks. That's a real hard expectation to live up to. However, we pick people, and people are put on our committee. When we're very, very young, there are individuals that come along, teachers, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, those kinds of things, family, and our close-knit groups sit on that committee, and for better or worse, play a role in how we see ourselves. That's how that whole theory works. And then as we grow older, we get to partake in the process of selecting people in our world and putting them on that committee. I'm asking you to look at that sense of who's important in my life in this particular assignment, who's on the committee, what role do they have, are there any people on that committee I would like to, kick off, or just they can be consultant but non-voting people on the committee? Are there individuals who are brand new? Are there individuals that have been there all your life? Just going through that process of identifying the important people in your life and how you turn to them productively for feedback on how you're doing, and use that feedback to develop a sense of who you are. There's a lot in social psych. We're looking basically at 4 major components of sociology impacting our behavior right after we learned about personality. So personality, and then personality in context. All right, so that is the expectations for this week. You have a discussion for Chapter 11, a quiz for Chapter 11, and you have a discussion, quiz, and an assignment for Chapter 12. So I look forward to good dialogue with you. Have a great week. Only a couple weeks left here in the semester, I think 3 weeks or so. So pay attention to due dates for those larger assignments, and get in touch with me if I can be of any assistance. Have a great week.